Hi everyone, Armine Bazikyan here from Bazikyan Law Group. I am an attorney here locally in Los Angeles, and our firm focuses on estate planning, wills and trusts, and probate and trust administration. So I want to answer a question that I get asked frequently by my own clients, and I have also been asked recently on social media, and that is, where do you store all of your original estate planning documents or original legal documents? Where should we store them? What should we do with them once we get them? Which is a great question. So there's a few things that you can do with your estate planning documents, the originals. What I recommend my clients do is store them in a safe place that's both waterproof and fireproof. So it could be anywhere that you feel is safe enough, as long as it's waterproof and fireproof and makes it out in a case of an emergency. If there's a fire or some water damage in your home or office, we want to make sure that we retrieve the original. So for the most part, keeping it in a safety deposit box is always a good option. So I would say that that would be my first recommendation, is keep it in a safety deposit box. With that said, there's a few warnings that I have with respect to that. A safety deposit box is actually kind of like a rental agreement or a lease agreement that you have with the bank, which says, you know, I'm agreeing to pay you the money to use this box, and you're agreeing to let me store some of my personal items in this safe box. With that said, if you are the only party to that agreement, that means that if something happens to you and you're incapacitated and you know, let's say you're in a vegetative state in the hospital or you've passed away, when your loved ones go to the bank to retrieve the things that you've been storing in that box, that bank is gonna reject them and say, nope, we will not open the box for you. Go out and get a court order and come back. And once the judge gives us instructions, we'll open the box for you. So it'll require a court order, which is not a great process, to be frank. It's not something that us as attorneys enjoy doing. We would rather have everything kind of be done ahead of time correctly. So if you are going to store original documents or items in general in a safety deposit box, make sure that you have either your trusted family member also on the box as an access holder, or what I prefer and what I recommend is if you have a trust that's created, a lot of the banks will actually allow you to name the trust as the owner of the safety deposit box. So you could go ahead and place that trust as the owner. That way, whoever your successor trustee is will automatically have access to that box without any need for a legal document. So that would be the first place. The second place that I recommend is if you have a safe at home or in your office, that would be the go-to place to put all these original documents. Make sure, again, that whomever you're giving to be the responsible person in your life after you're gone, to be in charge of these documents, to execute them, so whether that's your executor or your trustee, make sure that they know where to find the documents, and if it has an access dial or security code, make sure that you're also giving them the information to get in so that they're not spending time and money hiring a professional to break the code. This could be, you know, hey, you'll find the access code written down in the back of, I don't know, whatever cabinet or drawer or whatever, wherever you want to store it. And if something happens to me, that's where I need you to go to find the secret code, and then you could use that secret code to open up the safe. So you can make it really fun here, as you can tell. So that would be the second place, is to make sure that it's in a waterproof, fireproof safe at home. You don't have to have a lock on it. There are these secure containers that safe companies will sell, which are holding tanks for original documents, and the number one purpose behind it is to keep them waterproof and fireproof. So that might be a go-to place to keep all of your legal documents, just to make sure that even though they're in a file container, they're actually fireproof and waterproof for you. The third place, which is a really good place to store original estate planning documents, is with a professional trustee bank. So if you have named a professional a bank as your trustee, so if you have a professional trustee named in your estate planning documents, those banks will oftentimes have a method to secure and to store your documents. And if they're the ones that are, if the bank is going to be the one that jumps in and is acting as your trustee after your death, then it's a great idea to have them storing it. Just let your family members know, like, hey, don't go searching for the documents. It's with ABC Bank because I've named them to be the trustee and to execute my estate when I have passed away. So those are kind of the three go-to places to securely store your original documents, legal documents. There are a few places that I have come to know about that people use that are, in my opinion, not the greatest place. So I also want to cover those. You should not absolutely just leave them laying around your house, you know, on top of a desk where your kids could doodle on it and on the bottom of the closet. Those are the kind of places that we don't like to know that you're keeping your estate planning documents, the originals. And also, traditionally within the estate planning world, a lot of attorneys would hold on to originals in the past. Not many attorneys do that nowadays, and I would caution you against keeping your original documents at an attorney's office, because if that attorney retires or has medical issues and is incapacitated or passes away, you're going to have a really tough time, you know, going on a wild goose chase searching for your original documents. So I would caution against keeping it at an attorney's office. Again, traditionally in the past, that's how it was done in the estate planning world, but we rarely ever see estate planning attorneys, my colleagues and I, storing original documents for clients. So that's pretty much it. Those are the safe places to keep it. Safety deposit box, safe at home, or with your trustee that you've named as your bank. So those would be my go-to recommendations. Again, feel free to reach out to our firm if you have any questions. We provide free consultations. So if you have any questions that you are itching to ask me, go ahead and give our office a call and schedule a consultation. Bye.